Hi crafters, this is Crafty Savvy, and I'm here today to share this journal that I made. I'm super excited about this one. Not only is it because it's a little different from what I've done before, because it's a fabric journal, but mostly because I was asked to do a swap. Karen from Karen's Creations, hi Karen, super talented lady, asked if I would like to swap with her, and of course I agreed. And so this will be my first one, and so I'm super excited about it. So I hope she likes it as much as I do, and so I'm soon ready to send it off to her. So like I said, it's a fabric cover. So next to my favorite color, which is black, which is not really a color, but is green. I love green. So I had this green fabric material and I wanted to use it. It's almost, I'm not going to call it corduroy, but it almost has that feel to it. And I covered a envelope and I sewed around all the edges. So I did a bit of sewing in this journal, and I used lace. So what else can I tell you about it? It measures 6 by 9, so it's a nice size, and there's lots of room for writing and journaling. Inside is all regular coffee stained papers. And so on the outside, I used mostly lace trims from AliExpress. So the big trim that you see here, along the edges and on the back. This is some green and brown ribbon that I had for a closure. There's some eyelash trim and some tulle here that I did some layering. And some pearl, flat back pearl trim here. This photograph I got online somewhere, for like a free downloadable one. This little rosette here I made from some lace, scraps of lace that I had. So I made some rosettes there, and that's about it. So let's go inside. So oh, and I wanted to tell you about my little corners. I just got these a few days ago from AliExpress, so I got like a whole bunch of them, maybe like 24 or something, for a couple bucks, and they came just in time because I didn't know what to do with the corners. And when these came, I was like, yes, so they fit right on there perfectly. So I got 2 there and 2 on the inside. And it just kind of helped finish the whole thing off. Especially when you sew, I just didn't really want anything to fray. So I used some decorative paper, and I'll tell you where that came from. It was from this, and I don't know how old this is. Is Southern Charm. It's from Recollections. Whoops. So I just used, you know, some of the greens and some of these with these little vintage patterns and stuff on them, like this one here. So nice paper pad. And I also tried to use, so whatever tutorials I had on things that I made or kind of ideas that I came up with, I tried to put one of each of those in here too. So there's a lot of room for a picture, adding pictures, or, you know, drawings or doodling or whatever. And so on the first page I have a paper clip that I altered with some lace. And then this is a little pocket, just with some ephemera. And these are copies of some vintage checks that I have. They're dated May 1st, 1891. So those are really fun. So I made a pocket out of it, and they were super long, so I just folded it this way and added some lines for journaling and close it up with the paper clip. So, and this page is another pocket. There's a guest check in the inside of a guest check. I just added lines to it so you could write on it because it sounds super cool. And then there's another altered paper clip. I just get my scrap pieces of lace and attach it to it. It just adds a little something. There's a little card in there, doily, a vintage photo, and a bingo card. Nothing ever goes back the same way. Oh, we'll fix it later. And then here's a little side tuck with some of that paper, and then just a scrap piece of vintage music paper, and just added some lace to it. And here's some lace trim. I added some vintage music paper that I had. This is another tuck, and this is a report card. Kind of cute. This is from a vintage book that I have, the Girls' Own Journal, so I used some pages out of that. That's another sheet from the collection. Here is a little bag that I made. I have a tutorial on these with some vintage vintage paper. This is just the tag that I have inside. Attach some lace at the top. There's some more trim there. I tried to keep the trims all the same, just different colors. And then on this page, this is a little flip up. Sorry, they're doing yard work outside, I think. And I added a little middle corner there just for a little weight to keep it down. And then inside there is a library card. And then there's some little tags that I made. And I'll tell you how I did those. Quite some time ago, I told you guys all about someone from work who gave me a whole bunch of his mom's items, and so many of them were just vintage. So within that pile came tons of these iron-on, I believe they're iron-on transfers. I do cross-stitching as well, so, and these don't look like that to me, but these are probably more like iron-on transfers that, you know, you put on pillowcases or such. And so anyways, there's a whole bunch of them, just different patterns, Christmas ones, just really cute. And I wondered what I could do with them. So I started cutting up some pieces, and I got some, you know, odds and ends, and I cut them into tags. And then I just cut out what I wanted and Mod Podged them to the tags. And they're flat and they're durable, and I thought they turned out really sweet. So if you guys got any old stuff like that, Mod Podge them to some tags, and there you go. Like, I don't know, that's super cute to me. Adds a little bit of color, it's different. And if you're at all interested, I can show you how I did it. And that's just a blank tag. So that's what I put in there. And you'll see a bunch of those throughout. There's the other side of the book that I had. This is one of the little paper bags that I had done with using my own stamps there. And so I just cut the ends of the bag, and so it's open on both sides. And inside of there, I just added some of the paper. This is a vintage photo from Stanley Park in Erin, Ontario. This is, I added some things because I'm from Canada and I believe Karen's in the States. So this is actually, Erin is about, oh, let's see, less than an hour, 45 minutes away from where I live anyways. But it's super neat that I got some vintage stuff that is sort of in and around my area. And then some of those cards that I got that I just coffee stained. And that's also another altered paper clip. I just attached a flower and some lace to it. And that all fits in there. Some journaling lines. These are some stickers. This is some trim I used here. This is the center of the first signature. It's another page with journaling lines. This is the other side of the bag. And inside there is just extra paper. Sorry about that noise. And and this page is just a doily with a flower. You could probably tuck something in there if you really wanted to. Both same on both sides. Some more journaling lines, some trim. Some more of that paper. This is another tuck, just with some little cue cards, index cards, some vintage music paper. This is a wood frame that my friend Jill sent me in a lovely package that she sent me, a Happy Mail. And unfortunately, I glued it in there upside down. So that's an old vintage photo that I had, but that's upside down. So I always make a mistake somewhere, and I'm going to tell you that that's it. This is one of the glassine bags that I made. I think my last video is showing how to do that, so it's a tutorial. And then inside this was actually the sample that I used. So there's a library card in the top pocket, and there's just a little writing card there. And this is also a something that Jill had sent to me. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it. And then some more paper. And then on this page is a doily and some of that iron-on transfer. And there's a tag that I made with more of that iron-on transfer with some lace. And then there's just a bingo card and some journaling paper there. Okay, and now this is so this is just a little tie. And this is another piece of ephemera that I have, and I made a copy of and stained it of some vintage things that I had. This is also from 1891. And so I just fold it at the tops, and when I close it, it looks like an envelope, and I just use some of this burlap twine to close it shut. And I left the side open here for a little pocket. So add some lace trim on there. And then this is some vintage knitting instructions. And journaling here with a sticker, some trim. This is another tuck with, this is old ephemera. This is the Queen's Hotel in Montreal. So Montreal is quite a bit further. I would say it's about 7 hours or so from here. So it's a postcard. This is from the collection. And then in this pocket, I have just some downloadable ephemera. There's a guest check, and then there's another tag with a butterfly on it. I just attached my scraps to it. And that fits in there. And then here is a larger bag, envelope, or whatever you want to call it, little bag, that I made from some of that vintage paper from the Girl's Own Journal. And then there's another tag. I just put some lace on the top. There's another tuck spot with some vintage lace. And another tag. I love the blue and yellow. And there's another tuck spot just with a library card. This is another flip up. What music note sheet paper. Another tag, and this tag I also got from Jill. Thank you, Jill. I love these. They're like canvas. They're wonderful. And then in this pocket is another one of those vintage checks from 1891. And I just put some extra paper in here to write. I folded it up to make it look like an envelope, and I trim it with some trim. The center, there's some more writing space. It's another side tuck. It's just a guest check. Almost done. Another side pocket. So they're half of that knitting instruction. This is another pocket I made with one of my glassine bags. This is another piece of that vintage, this is actually 1890. This is so neat. It's a list of things that this person bought. It's very cool. So that goes in there. There's a little pocket there. And that's the back. I just got handmade by me. And that's the back. So, I really had great fun making this journal. I loved it. I will definitely be making more of these. Had such a good time. I hope Karen enjoys it just as much as I did making it. So I hope to be in touch with her soon. We also kind of decided to, I just wanted to include some extras that I had, some handmade goodies. So nothing too extravagant, just a little something to say thank you. And so I made some flowers that I packaged up for her. I got a little package ready of some extras. And I'll be sending her some tags that I made. So that's it, everybody. That's my envelope fabric journal. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And I hope to talk to you guys all soon. I hope you're all well, and I should be back shortly with, I'm hoping, another album I have on the go for someone that is going on a trip, and I hope to be able to share that with you guys soon. So take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.